Hi guys, Reform UK are certainly not sending their best, and Sarah Pochin, one of their MPs, is a perfect example of that. So she stood up in the House of Commons this week where she was talking about Sharia law and asked the government if they were willing to recognise Sharia courts and Sharia law as part of the justice system, which doesn't make any sense, and I'll explain why in just a moment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the new Secretary of State for Justice recognise Sharia law and Sharia courts in the United Kingdom? Yes or no?
Sharia law forms no part of the law of England and Wales, but in common with Christian, Jewish and other courts of faith where people choose to put themselves before those councils, that's part of the religious tolerance that is an important British value.
I really wish the MPs, the ministers, would just say, what's wrong with you? Do you actually have a functioning brain? Now let me explain why that's such a ridiculous position to take. So what she's trying to do, of course, is tap into this fear people have about Islam, fear about Sharia law. And Sharia law is going to be enforced at the national level. The justice system is going to recognise these courts. This is nonsensical, and I'll explain why. But there are two reasons, first of all. So the first one, of course, is Sharia law is like canon law within the Catholic Church. So in the Catholic Church, it has its rules and regulations. Many other organised religions have similar laws. But when it comes to the Catholic Church, I used to be a member, and it has rules, for example, when a child is baptised. How long you have to wait, or you must not wait longer than a particular period of time. It's written in law. For when it comes to communion, when it comes to providing people access to religion, when it comes to how the religion is taught at schools. All of these things are contained within the laws. For example, on the issue of baptism, there are about 7 or 8 particular laws that you can quote just on baptism. So canon law is the law of the Catholic Church when it comes to both parishioners and clergy. So they have to follow these regulations. They have to follow these rules. And it covers a whole range of issues. Now, when it comes to Sharia, it's no different. Within Islam, there are rules that people have to follow when it comes to divorces or what happens at schools and how schools are run, religious schools or whatever. The role between the clergy and the believers. All of these things are written down so that people understand, okay, these are my rights and these are my obligations. Now, the other point here is Sarah Pochin suggesting that Sharia law be banned or that Islam be banned in the UK because it's not the official religion? Because the official religion in England is the Church of England. So if you ban everything, should everything else be banned and only the Church of England reign? Because then you'd have to ban Islam, you'd have to ban Catholicism, you'd have to ban the hundreds of Christian denominations, you'd have to ban Judaism, you'd have to ban a whole range of religions if you just have one official one. But then Reform UK are supposed to represent the UK, so how would it apply in Scotland, where there isn't an official religion? There's the Presbyterian Church, but it's the biggest one, but it's not the official religion in Scotland. Wales hasn't had an official religion since 1920, and of course in Northern Ireland, for obvious reasons, there isn't official religion. So what would Reform UK do when it comes to Sharia law? Would they ban it? Well, then if they ban a law that only applies to people within the religion, then they would have to ban the religion as well. Because once again, canon law doesn't apply to people who are not Catholics, in the same way as Sharia law does not apply to people who are not Muslims. So why are you concerned about it? You're not a Muslim, so you're not under Sharia law, in the same way as I don't think Sarah Pochin is a Catholic, so she's not under Catholic law or canon law. Maybe she should ask her friend Jacob Rees-Mogg, who converted to Catholicism recently, I believe. He's a Catholic anyway. Maybe she'd ask him about canon law, because he is under the rules of the Catholic Church. So none of this makes any sense. You're talking about rules within an organization being applied at the level of the justice system, and it's not happening. Sharia courts would not be recognized in the UK because the UK is not an Islamic country. Some people say it's a Christian country. I think it's more a secular country, in the same way as people who, because if England was a Christian country, then Christian laws would apply to everyone. In a way that Ireland used to be like that. For example, under canon law, you're not supposed to eat meat on a Friday. And in Ireland, people generally didn't eat meat on Fridays because they were following the rules of the religion. Things changed. You were not allowed to sell alcohol on Good Friday, the Friday before Easter Sunday. That changed recently, but that was part of canon law. You're not supposed to drink alcohol. You're not supposed to sell alcohol. So I think I'm not fully up to speed on canon law, but I understand the general concept. So when it comes to Sharia, they're not going to be officially recognized by the British state because they don't apply to everyone. The court that operates, the official courts that operate within England and Wales apply to everyone, religious and non-religious. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.